Husband, 34 per meter, is resentful of a version of me, 35F, that doesn't exist. Or at least not nearly to the extent he seems to think it does. I'm at a loss. My husband, 34 per meter, and I, 35F, got into a huge fight, and one of the points that came out of it is that I'm boring and never want to do anything. He says I just sat at home in my pajamas for 3 years, 2020-2023, out of fear of COVID, and that period of time changed me as a person. The thing is, that's not remotely true. I just spent an hour combing through my pictures on my phone and recounting how busy I was during those years. Multiple trips, work events, over a dozen weddings including our own, and all of the planning, moving twice, 2 separate home renovations, 3x weekly in office, business trips, birthday parties, bachelorette weekends, you name it. In retrospect, 2021-2022 were actually some of the busiest and most stressful years of my life. That he so firmly is holding onto this image of me that just sits home, unwilling to leave, unwilling to socialize, and that he thinks this went on for 3 whole years is driving me insane. To the point that I literally made a list of a bunch of shit that happened during each of those years just to prove that this is completely fabricated. How do we work through resentment on an issue that doesn't exist? Since mid-2023 I have been working from home, hybrid, but I don't go in a lot, so I feel like his brain is twisting the last year or so of me naturally being home more often into a whole different memory and understanding of events, and therefore twisting his perception of me. I'll admit that since working from home I don't leave the house as much, but I feel like he's invented this version of me that hates fun and always says no to plans. This doesn't happen nearly to the extent that he suggests. I also think it's normal to spend more time at home as 35-year-olds. I'm so frustrated. All I want to do is just prove to him that he's resentful about something that isn't real. I feel psychotic that I just spent so much time digging through my pictures to essentially build my case that I can present to him tomorrow. I can't sleep because of how bad I feel like I need to prove that I'm right. I feel like I'm being gaslit, only I don't know if it's technically gaslighting if the person actually believes what they're saying. Too long did not read. Husband resents me over claims that I have been sitting home, antisocial, in my pajamas, since 2020. This is so far from the truth, and recent WFH status is warping his memory and perception of our relationship history. Not sure how to undo this categorically untrue image he has of me other than to literally show him a list of events and pictures from those years to prove I'm right. This looks like those arguments people have to come up with excuses for their wrongdoing. If my husband said that to me, I'd say, maybe you have me mixed up with some other girl you know, and sit back and read his body language. Any chance he might be looking for excuses to pick a fight? Do you think he might be bored with the relationship and is looking for a reason to leave? I don't want to make assumptions, of course, but it's a weird reason for him to feel resentful towards you. Also, I agree that it's normal for someone in their 30s to be a homebody. There's nothing wrong about that. So, what exactly does he want you to do that you've declined? Sounds like he's met someone else and is creating a backstory to justify, mitigate his guilt. What's the point of having a husband if he doesn't even like you? I don't want to make you worried if this isn't the case. However, this is exactly what my ex did when he was cheating on me. It was how he devalued me into believing the relationship was failing because of me rather than the fact he was sleeping with someone else. If I hadn't found out about the cheating, I would have believed it too because he told me so many times that I'd started to think he was right. Maybe he doesn't like the fact that you are working from home a lot more recently. Maybe that's what he's not properly communicating. He's resentful because he needs to feel resentful to justify something he is doing wrong. An affair is likely. Sorry.